This is AI News Today, and here's what happened in the world of AI in the last 7 days. Let's start with some absolutely jaw-dropping news from the robotics world. Italian researchers just achieved something that sounds straight out of science fiction. They've built the world's first flying humanoid robot. The Iron Cub 3 is a jet-powered humanoid that successfully hovered about 50 centimeters off the ground during its first test flight. Now, I know 50 centimeters doesn't sound like breaking altitude records, but here's why this is monumental. Unlike traditional drones, this robot has to balance an entire humanoid body with movable limbs while constantly adapting to changing aerodynamics. It's a completely different engineering challenge, and they've cracked the first piece of that puzzle. Speaking of robots making moves, Waymo is taking a massive step by applying to test its self-driving cars in New York City. This is huge because NYC has some of the most chaotic, unpredictable streets in America. If autonomous vehicles can handle Manhattan traffic, they can probably handle anywhere. Right now, they'd still need human specialists behind the wheel since state law doesn't allow fully autonomous drives yet, but this marks a significant expansion of robotaxi ambitions beyond the West Coast. But let's shift gears to what might be the biggest industry shakeup we've seen all year. Meta just made a move that's sending shockwaves through the entire AI ecosystem by purchasing a 49% stake in Scale AI, one of the most important data labeling companies in the world. This is massive because Scale provides the training data that powers virtually every major AI model. Now that Meta effectively controls nearly half of Scale, every other AI company has a tough decision to make. Keep working with Scale and potentially strengthen their biggest competitor, or cut ties and find alternatives. OpenAI says they're sticking with Scale for now, but Google, xAI, and Microsoft have all indicated they're planning to reduce or completely sever their relationships with the company. It's like a high-stakes game of chess where every move could reshape the competitive landscape. Moving on to some exciting model updates. Google just dropped major upgrades to their Gemini 2.5 family. The flagship Gemini 2.5 Pro is now out of preview and ready for developers to build with, while the new Gemini 2.5 Flash offers faster performance for everyday tasks. But the really interesting addition is Gemini 2.5 Flashlight, which is even speedier and can be assigned different thinking budgets, depending on how complex your task is. And here's something that caught everyone's attention. Minimax, a Shanghai-based company, just released a new model called M1 that's making some serious waves. This thing has a massive 1 million token context window, which is theoretically big enough to process entire collections of books compared to GPT-4o's novel-length limit. Even more impressive, developers are using it to build complete applications from scratch, like Netflix clones and stock dashboards, with just simple prompts. But perhaps the most anticipated release this week came from Midjourney. After watching competitors like Runway and Luma dominate the video generation space, Midjourney finally launched their first video model, V1. At just $10 per month, it's significantly cheaper than other video generation tools, and early users are saying it can create video styles that are genuinely difficult to achieve with other platforms. You can turn any image into a set of 4 5-second video clips and extend them up to 21 seconds. Now, let's talk about some developments that are reshaping how we think about work in AI. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy just sent a memo to the company's 1.5 million employees, acknowledging that generative AI will likely lead to some job cuts as it floods virtually every corner of the company. But here's the interesting part. He's not painting this as entirely doom and gloom. Jassy emphasized that while some positions will be automated, entirely new types of jobs will open up. His advice to employees? Be curious about AI, educate yourself, attend workshops, and experiment with these tools whenever possible. This aligns with some fascinating new data from Gallup, showing that about 40% of American employees have used AI at least a few times in the past year, up from just 21% the year before. Nearly 1 in 5 employees now count themselves as frequent AI users, relying on language models at least a few times a week for work tasks. Speaking of workplace transformation, we're seeing some remarkable success stories emerge from solo entrepreneurs leveraging AI. A developer named Maur Shlomo just sold his 6-month-old side project called Base 44 for $80 million. The platform helps non-programmers design their own software, and it was generating $189,000 in profit per month by the time it was acquired by Wix. This kind of rapid growth and profitability from such a small team would have been unheard of just a couple of years ago. On the medical front, we're seeing some groundbreaking applications. Houston surgeons performed the first fully robotic heart transplant in the US, using small abdominal incisions instead of cracking open the chest. Meanwhile, researchers from Harvard and MIT reportedly saved the equivalent of 12 years of research time by using OpenAI's models to automate systematic reviews of medical research. Let me share some other interesting developments from this week. Adobe launched a mobile version of Firefly, their commercially safe image and video generation platform, and they're integrating third-party models from companies like Luma, Runway, and Ideogram. TikTok unveiled new AI video tools for advertisers, letting them generate 5-second clips and stitch them together to showcase entire product catalogs. There's also been some drama in the partnerships department. A Wall Street Journal report suggests that the once rock-solid relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft might be reaching a breaking point. OpenAI apparently wants more independence and flexibility as it tries to transform into a public benefit corporation. But Microsoft is reportedly reluctant to budge on the partnership details. And here's something that really highlights how sophisticated these AI models are getting. Apple researchers recently published a study questioning whether AI models can actually reason. But now, a different group of researchers is pushing back on those findings. What makes this particularly interesting is that one of the co-authors of the rebuttal study is Anthropic's Claude Opus itself. We're literally seeing AI models participate in academic debates about their own capabilities. Finally, let's touch on some of the tools and features that are making AI more accessible. You can now generate images by texting prompts to 1-800-CHAT-GPT through WhatsApp. OpenAI rolled out Record Mode for pro users, letting you transcribe and summarize meetings. Google launched a new Search Live feature that lets you have full conversations with search results, asking follow-up questions out loud, and getting AI-generated audio responses. There's so much happening in this space right now, from flying robots to corporate shakeups to new creative possibilities. What we're seeing is AI moving from experimental technology to something that's fundamentally reshaping industries, workplaces, and even how we interact with information on a daily basis. That's it for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, or follow, and see you tomorrow for more AI news.